Hey, it's Chris Bowling.
Chris Byer.
Brett Johnson.
Brad, you got a great topic that I think we'll all laugh about.
So as parents, right?
Yes.
We're always looking for good career paths for our kids.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So I'm going to suggest one. If
I'm
they
taking
haven't
notes.
made up their mind, I want them to look at becoming an arbitrator,
Ooh.
specifically between insurance companies and healthcare providers. So you want to know the why behind this recommendation?
Yes, I would love to know.
Okay. Okay. So remember the No Surprises Act
Yeah.
that was introduced, and I'm so bad with these.
End
Last
of
year.
21. Yes.
Yeah. And essentially what it did was it was designed to protect the patient from getting caught in the middle, often of an out-of-network provider dispute. So let's say you go to an in-network hospital, but they use an out-of-network anesthesiologist, radiologist, blah, 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 insert the word here. It protected the member from getting this big balance bill. Also some ER charges and whatnot. Well, the process to remedy that was take the member out of it. It's between the insurance company and the healthcare provider to work it all out if they're out of network.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
great idea.
So when they, and like anything, if you've never done anything before, they had to come up with a projection. How many arbitrators do we think we'll need? And they came up with a projection. Well, it turns out they need 10 times the number of arbitrators across the country.
It's a whole new industry.
It is just settling these disputes, and they're taking longer than expected. There are more arbitrations filed than expected. And so it's a great time to be an arbitrator is what I'm learning. And I'm not smart enough to be one. So if anyone listening, maybe they
Yes, it's a new career path. But I mean, it's the challenge we run into with any federal legislation when it comes to healthcare. Good in concept. It's hard to project the actual steps because it's governmental and then it actually gets put in place. And I think it's great for the members, but just like you said, there's just no way to know the fallout of something like that when you put it in play. I mean,
yeah. And do either of you have any clients that have gone through that you know of? I mean, this may even be under the radar for what we see from day to day.
Not an arbitration, but yes, we have a client that has an out-of-network claim. They are self-funded. Interesting that, now that you bring this to my attention, I wonder why the third-party administrator is not dealing with it, because she's getting a bill for 318% above Medicare, which is a ridiculous amount. So, she's asking us, what should we do? But yeah, it's funny. I never thought about why is the employer dealing with this and not the TPA?
Because they're to that point where they're like, employer, do you want to settle for this? And we don't have to go to arbitration. I think that's what's happening. They don't want to have to put another one into the queue.
Yeah, it's probably less expensive just to get it done versus the penalty. Because
I know we've seen a few though. I mean, where we've seen that from the member too. And I think that in 2022, we saw, that act was passed at end of 21, but in 22, that still wasn't in play for every plan. So we've still seen some employees and their families get that balance bill for anesthesia or lab work while they are under. And it should now be live for every plan now in 23, but it took a while to roll it out based on when that plan renewed.
Yeah, we got caught in a situation where a client had a mid-year 2022 renewal. And you didn't hear about these things that often. And it was an ER dispute. That they're protected with the No Surprises Act. Nope, it didn't go into effect until their plan anniversary in 2022, which was surprising. You read the memos and all that stuff, and way too many details. But anyhow, just something to lighten the morning up with a topic different. That's different.
All right, so I'm going to throw. I don't mean to drag this on. How does this impact reference-based pricing, where you don't have a network?
From what I understand. And I'm not an expert in this, just a guy that reads stuff periodically and comes up with these harebrained ideas for our bottom line. But I do believe that they are using Medicare as one of the references as to how they should set this out-of-network dispute. And so they'll come forward to say, Medicare pays this. Here's what our PPO contract would have paid, but you're not a provider that participates in that. Let's figure out where we should be.
Yeah.
So it comes into play. I don't know the practicality of it, how it actually happens, but
it just makes me think, because every claim is is a dispute, right? Because that's the whole game of reference-based pricing. We're going to dispute every claim and get to a Medicare plus, whatever that plus looks like. So
Yeah.
how, are those all going into arbitration now? I mean, that's a train wreck. I mean, that'll take years to get your claim paid. So
It
Yeah.
seemed, last little fact I picked up, it seemed like some very large provider groups that had, really the market clout and the power to
Right.
fight this. They were the ones filing a lot more of these. I have a feeling, and in this area, there's not too many small independent providers, operating a, doctor and staff, it's at least a healthcare group of, 50 to 100 people probably of consequence with size, but those probably aren't the ones filing a lot of these. I'm sure it's the bigger health systems that
Yeah.
are.
It'll be interesting to see how that continues to play out.
yeah, that's fascinating. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
There you go. Arbitration.
Arbitration as a new career path.
Arbitration.
Let that be noted.
Yeah. So in other words, if you have a child who loves to argue about everything, that's their career path. 'Cause I have one of those.
Got a job.
Perfect.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
All
Good to
right.
see you guys.
See you next time.